So Jeremy's my cousin, and when I first met you in San Diego, you had just started to kind of get into movies or TV.
That's right.
TV shows, or actually, I think it was like, didn't you do the first thing with something with SeaWorld?
Oh yeah, I did a SeaWorld promotional video in San Diego. And that was kind of the beginning of everything for me. That was kind of my entrance to the acting world. I remember SeaWorld was coming to the school looking for kids to be in its promotional video, and so I went and I tried out and I got the part. And I remember I got to take like a week off from school and just go to SeaWorld and do all these kind of fun behind-the-scenes things that nobody ever really gets to do. But I got to do them because I was a part of this video for them to sell in their parks and stuff.
Did you meet Shamu?
Yeah, I did meet Shamu. I actually hugged Shamu.
Oh my gosh.
And my dad had to sign a release waiving them from any liability in case Shamu decided to, eat me.
Yeah.
It sounds like, and wow, what a difference a couple of years makes, because now it's like you'd be crazy to sign that release and go near Shamu because it can kill people. But I got to hug a big old killer whale. But I got to do all these really cool, fun things that nobody ever really gets to do. And it was pretty soon after that I was like, wow, I should keep on doing this because I get to take time off of school and I get to go do fun things instead of going to school. My mom hooked me up with a talent manager here in LA. And I went up and I met with the manager and he liked me. And so that was kind of the beginning of, when I started to really act. I was probably sixth grade. So yeah, 12 years old, 12 or 13 years old, something like that. And yeah, that was it. That was like when it started. And I started doing like extra parts, I got to be an extra in a couple of movies and sort of seeing how big movies worked. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, they were sending me out on auditions, as an actor, like, what you do is you just go and you audition for people and they tell you no, and then you go back and they tell you no again. But eventually, pretty soon, people start to say, yeah, you're all right, kid. So I started to, book roles as an actor, a little line here, a little line there. Mm-hmm. And I kept sort of progressing like that, doing a little bit better each time. And eventually I started getting like bigger parts. And the biggest part I probably ever got and will ever get in my life as an actor is I got cast in a movie called Dante's Peak. And Dante's Peak was like a big disaster movie about a volcano.
With Pierce Brosnan was in it.
Pierce Brosnan, yeah. Linda Hamilton, yeah. And
Linda Hamilton, yeah, that's right.
Linda Hamilton, yeah, from Terminator, yeah. Ooh. She played my mom.
Wow.
That was her kid. It was a big thing. It was a big part to get.
So
it was like a really popular movie, and it's one of those movies like they play it on TV and on Showtime and Cinemax and HBO all the time. Like it's always, I would say not a month. Maybe that's too much, but every couple of months, I will always catch Dante's Peak on TV. Wow. Always. Uh-huh. Yeah. And yeah, that's kind of what started it,
So you were in Dante's Peak. That was the big feature film. And
yep,
then
probably the biggest.
You were in a couple other ones. You were in Soccer Dog.
Yeah, I was in a couple of other movies. Some were ever as good or as big as Dante's Peak.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I did a couple of other things, and I did a lot of television. Yeah, there was, a lot of opportunities in TV, so I did a lot of, like, guest starring roles on shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Touched by an Angel. And, yeah, everybody loves Buffy because it became a very popular show, but I was in it in the first season when, like, nobody knew what it was. It was just, it sounded kind of like a corny idea, like what they're making a television show about that, but people love it now. It's like one of the most, it's a cult show. But yeah, I did that, and then for a couple seasons, one of the biggest TV gigs I ever did as an actor is for 3 seasons I was on a television show on Nickelodeon called Caitlin's Way, and I was one of the leads on that show. I think we did 52 episodes, which is a pretty that's a pretty good TV number. Yeah. I think you can find it on YouTube too.
Mm-hmm. You played the brother, I guess.
I played her. I played her cousin.
Her cousin.
So it was four. Yeah, it was four of us. It was the lead actress is a friend, Lindsay, and then there was my mom and my dad, and I was her kind of her punk cousin in the show.
Which is really a stretch.
Yeah,
if you know you, it's like, wow. But
cousin.
But you were an actor, so you were acting. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was playing the part.
It worked.
Playing the part. Oh yeah. I did a movie called Soccer Dog.
Yeah, that was fun. It's really bizarre. It's like you're just a normal kid, and then your dad has these people have adopted you, and they're about 20. And
yeah, they're
they're
pretty young.
It's so funny. Well, son, the kid, the dad just wants you to be happy and be his son, and you're like, yeah.
And actually, Soccer Dog is a funny one too, because the director who directed Soccer Dog is my buddy Tony, and we met because he was one of the PAs on Dante's Peak, and he was one of probably the youngest people on set next to me. He must have been like 21, 22 or something like that. And so that's actually how I knew him. That's how I got the part in Soccer Dog, is because he knew me from Dante's Peak and just said, hey, do you want to do this? I said, yeah, of course.
It's not about all talent, but it's also who you know. And that's just, keep hearing that all the time.
It's almost only who you know.
Yeah. Somebody's going to go.
It's like 25% talent, 75% who you know.
Yeah.
Maybe even more.
So after all this, then you kind of started to get out of filmmaking, get behind the camera instead of in front of it.
And once I started to get on set and see how movies were actually made, it was like, oh, wow, okay, there's camera guys and grip guys and sound people and costume people and makeup people. I was like getting exposed to that whole behind the scenes world that I had no idea about. I knew nothing.
So now, you're behind the camera. You're coming up with your own film ideas, and you've done a few already. So
yeah. And
so
we're planning on doing much, much more.
So the first one you worked on was called Mobsters or something?
Yeah. It's all over Funny or Die.
Okay.
And we had a lot of really cool guest stars come in, and there would be, funny guests in our episodes and stuff. And I produced it with all of my friends. And it was a real, it was a great learning experience for all of us, not just me, but for the actors and for all of us as producers. And, we really kind of cut our teeth, so to speak, on that one. But yeah, that was the first one that we all did. And then after that, my wife, Sarah, and I started to get really seriously and really get into making things on a bigger scale than just for the web or music videos and stuff like that. So we created, she actually wrote it. She wrote a big proof of concept film.
Hello, Agent Parker. Welcome to the Fate Management Agency. Guiding Earth's destiny, one client at a time.
Fating is not easy. And it's your job to guide your client towards their maximum potential.
Hey, Mom. Today? No, I'm literally walking out for an audition right now. Yep, been studying all day. Audition.
He's been on the couch for 18 days straight. What are you doing?
Screw it. I'm going down there.
Wait, what? Wait, you can't. You're not allowed.
Eliza, relax. I've been watching these guys for years. How hard can it be?
You cop?
Huh? No, man. I'm an agent.
Hello, Frank Russo, actor. I can juggle. I can do accents.
Hi, Natalie.
Did you see that? She made his potential go up a point.
It was great to meet you. Thanks for the drink, sweetie. Take it easy.
I cannot allow this to go on.
Joe, who the hell are these guys?
I think we have a situation.
These are people's lives.
I'm at a loss. I'm lost.
Not everybody's cut out to be an agent.
we decided to make another short. You know, Sarah and I, that's my wife, we were looking around for ideas, you know, trying to figure out like what would be really good. And my dad, who has written a lot of great short stories and novels and, you know, poems and all that stuff. I mean, he's a really good writer. He had written this really interesting kind of weird little short story called The Faceless Man. And it was about a man who wakes up with a mirror for a face. And when people look into the faceless man, they don't see a man with a mirror for a face. They see themselves and sort of reveal their inner narratives or their secrets or their desires or their fears or all these things. And I remember reading it, and I showed it to Sarah, and we were both like, wow, this is really...
Yeah.
This is really like trippy and weird, and I've never seen anything like this before. And that's when we decided, like, okay, if we're going to do another short film, let's do this one. So we kind of got the ball rolling on The Faceless Man.
Instead, they must find a new purpose in today's world.
This can't be happening.
Hey, buddy. Look, I'm sorry. I just woke up like this. Please don't arrest me.
What are you doing to yourself?
What the hell?
Jesus Christ, man, I barely even recognized you.
One of the biggest things that people really love about The Faceless Man is its use of practical effects. And, we've gotten a lot of, like, publicity and play off of that.
The Mirror Game! We have this fun thing on the set called the Mirror Game. Tilt up your chin. Yeah, closer, closer. Head down, head tilted left, tilt left, head up. With a mirror, we were working always with the tiniest degree of give or take. If Billy had turned his head just a half an inch to the left or a half an inch to the right, it would have revealed 10 people standing in that corner.
I was having to just over and over and over, I'd be, crazed, and I'd come and see a kid, and they'd go, no, you're off by a billionth of an inch. Okay, I gotta see a kid. Yeah, no, well, now you're off by a quarter of an inch. I will never have difficulty finding a footmark again in my life. Those are easy.
Not a bit, a little bit more.
This was, tricky.
You have a link to this, right?
Yeah, we have a link. It's on Vimeo, and you can also find it on sites like No Film School. Did a piece on The Faceless Man, and Digital Filmmaker Magazine, and a few other blogs and sites have written about it. Just because, we were maybe the only people crazy enough to try and do that.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yeah, it worked. It worked good. So, again, thanks again for coming in and being on the show. Look up Jeremy Foley, and you'll you have a website or anything?
JeremyFoley.com, and you can find me on IMDb, or you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. I have it all.
He's all over. You're all over the place. So that's great. Okay, that was Jeremy Foley, my cousin, and I want to thank him for coming on the show and telling us all about his acting career, and hopefully you enjoyed that. There's a lot of things I didn't even know about, and he's my cousin,